My name is Norman Mumbo. I'm the manager of Gideon's. I wasn't where I am today, but let me bring it down a little bit and tell you more about myself. I was this sweet kid. I was raised up by my parents, but they divorced. Like, not actually divorced, but they separated when I was around 3, 4 years old. So I stayed with my dad, who later on remarried, and now we were living with my stepmom. At some point, life became so unbearable living with them. All the beatings, all the false accusations, and well, at some point I thought to myself, like, life out there might be somehow easy than what I'm going through in this house. That was my father's house. So I decided to leave home at the age of 12, and I became a street boy. I lived in the streets. It was worse living in the street, but it was worth persevering than going back to that chaotic house that I was living in. So I became a street boy for 5 years. 3 years in Nairobi and 2 years in Kisumu. Life in the street wasn't easy, but I maneuvered my way around it. One of the ways that I remember was from stealing. Also, I didn't have good beddings, and so I was sleeping in dumpsters. Like, when it starts to decompose, it's produced some heat. So sometimes at night it could be the best place to sleep in because it was a bit warm. So in the morning, we walk around, go around, stealing from people, stealing things. Then one day, I had one of my friends whom we were with in the street. It was called Maxwell. So we talked, and we had some other street boys who had come from Kisumu. Say that, Kisumu city life is more easy. There's no a lot of pressure. There's easy money. So we decided with Maxwell to move to Kisumu. And we didn't have money to pay our transport to Kisumu. So we took some good advice from those who were in Kisumu or who had gone to Kisumu before and back. So that is sneaking underneath the bus and holding some of the bus. So it was around 7 hours drive. So it was one of the hardest thing to do, but we wanted to have experience the good life in Kisumu streets. When we got to Nakuru around 3 hours later, when people stop to go for a break, that's when you get to step down and stretch your legs, then go back in and hold for another 4 hours to Kisumu. So we got to Kisumu and we were all full of dust. And life in Kisumu wasn't that good as we thought it would be. It was even worse than Nairobi. At least in Nairobi you will sometimes get some throwaway food you eat. In Kisumu it became tough, and we resorted to stealing again, like mostly in part of the Juakali sectors. These are places where there's a lot of mechanical work going on, so a lot of spare parts that we could steal and sell and have some food. So one morning we woke up at around 4 and went with my friend Maxwell to steal. And where we went to steal, it was being guarded by a Maasai who was armed with arrows and bows and clubs. When he noticed us, he started chasing after us and we were running away. Then he drew an arrow, shot at us, then here's my friend Maxwell. And Maxwell died. Like, I saw him die, and that was one of the most painful part of my life, like watching our best friend die. He was buried in the cemetery in Kisumu because no one could trace his family. He ended up being buried in the cemetery in Kisumu. Yeah.